Hey guys, it's Jazz. So, as we know, being basic is so not the move anymore, and in this guide, I will help you with finding your alternative style, including where to shop and how to completely revamp your look from basic to a goth, punk, alt sort of vibe. We will go through the following categories: clothing, hair, and then some tweaks to make your lifestyle and all around vibe match the aesthetic you're trying to put out. So, first up, we'll look at clothing. You want to look different, but the clothing should still be flattering. Thrifting is also always a possibility, but since we live in the US, the only sizes left are often XXL and XXXL. That's not really what you want to pull up in when you're gonna see your guitarist crush at a house show. So then brands like Dollskill, Laughing Vampire, and Hot Topic, no, that's not just for nerds and musty metalheads, might be the move. If you see a cool design on a designer's website but you don't want to pay hundreds of dollars for the original, you can always check out Shein and stuff like that. They usually have the same thing for cheaper. Also, DIY culture is huge in the scene. Therefore, make sure your clothes always look worn, unique, or distressed. Try to buy ripped jeans, jackets with pins on them, shirts with a bunch of safety pins, etc. For the punks that are listening, you can even buy pre-made crust bands and jackets for if you want the look but you don't want to spend years getting it. Also, you can actually wash these. And then the last tip I have for you clothing-wise is wear band tees. Some good ones are like Deftones, Mocha Doma, or iDress. You can sometimes find these in like H&M and stuff, but if you actually want unique ones or specific tours or albums that you want to rep, you should check out Redbubble. Spending money on one of their concerts is for one night, but clothing you can wear forever. You have to think long term with your subcultural antics. Okay, next up we're gonna move on to hair. To get that gothish alt look, I would definitely recommend getting some micro bangs. Also think about cutting your hair a shoulder length. Just make sure it's a flattering cut though, because those guitar guys that you guys will probably love, they like it a little boyish but not too manly. Also dye it a color like black or dark red, because those are unique and kind of intimidating but not too try hard or unnatural like blue or purple or pink or whatever. Just look on your Pinterest and find some pics of like cuts and colors to show your hairdresser. Just please, for the love of God, leave the kitchen scissors alone, because that's what's gonna give you that choppy, unneat cut, and it's gonna look unprofessional and it's gonna look messy. Also, speaking of messy, make sure to use an Olaplex mask at least every 2 weeks or so, just so your hair actually stays shiny and luscious. You don't want your new goth coupe to look fried. You want your black locks silky smooth. Okay, and finally, we'll get into some quick fire tips on how to make your hobbies and interests match your aesthetic. So my first recommendation is to visit galleries often and post them on your story. I usually aim between like 3 to 5 pictures of just things that catch my eye, and I would also recommend to look for some songs that are like kind of matching the vibe. Also get a digital or disposable camera, because no matter what you take a picture of, the aesthetic will be immaculate, especially like nightlife and crowds and stuff. I'll look very Wong Kar-wai-ish with those lenses. An important one is to sometimes speak out on your IG story about like minorities and stuff. So just repost something that's shared on one of those leftist woke accounts. Just make sure people realize you do actually care for the community, because that's anarchy, baby. Overall, just be yourself and don't try too hard if you look the part, and don't engage too much with the popular basic stuff. You'll be just fine. Okay, signing off now. Good luck.